The young lady meets up with a boy who is her newfound friend from school at a fair, and after talking for a little while, they hitch a ride into an interesting but dark part of the fair. Moments after they alight and step into a section of the place, they get attacked by a group of boys. One of their schoolmates hears the lady's screams from outside and instantly rushes towards them to check it out. The boy and the girl get separated from each other in the struggle, and while the boy is being beaten up, his hands begin to glow brightly. With this surge of energy flowing through him, he gets up and begins to beat up his attackers, tossing them away from him easily. Another boy attacks him from behind, but he is quick enough to deflect and toss the boy against a nearby tree. The boy with the glowing hands runs quickly and heads in the direction where his friend has been taken. But on his way, he sees another boy who is part of the attackers, and holds him up in the air, asking where his friend has been taken. After forcefully getting the information out of the boy, he heads in the direction told to him by the boy. But before long, his schoolmate, who came due to the lady's screams, sees the strange thing he just did with his hands. On a random day, an alien and his guardian, hiding from intergalactic bounty hunters called Mogadorians, take refuge on Earth. They stay safe for a while until a certain night deep in the woods, when their existence comes under threat. The alien, called Number 3, and his guardian are suddenly awoken by a disturbance in their cabin. The guardian picks up his special blade and peeks through the opening in the cabin to check it out, and upon seeing nothing, he turns to face Number 3 before being suddenly pulled out of the cabin by one of the hunter's animals. Seeing this, Number 3 leaps out of the cabin and makes a run for it into the woods. After running for a while, he skillfully loses the animal. Having a bit of reprieve, he turns around and is immediately grabbed and stabbed by one of the intergalactic bounty hunters called Mogadorian, killing him instantly. After the death of Number 3, Number 4, who is next on the list for the Mogadorians, instantly sees a bright, painful glow on his leg, branding a scar on it, which signifies the death of Number 3. With people seeing what had happened, Number 4 and his guardian, Henri, pack their belongings and flee, knowing that the Mogadorians will track them to the area. On their way, Number 4 recounts how he got his first 2 scars at a tender age, before getting another the previous night. He makes it known that he was just a kid when the Mogadorians invaded his home planet, Lorien, with only 9 gifted children meant to protect their people when they grow up, escaping their terror and being the last of their kind. Number 4 makes it known that they are being hunted, with 3 already dead, and he being the next on the Mogadorians' list. After settling into their new house, they hear a disturbance outside and go to check it out. Outside, Number 4, whose new name is John, sees a dog, unaware that it is a reptile that had followed them from their previous location and transformed into a dog. John takes it inside, with Henri agreeing to let him keep it. The following morning, John is allowed to go to school after a back and forth with Henri. When John arrives at school, he is shown to his locker by a girl named Sarah, who loves photography. After departing from him, some boys, with one of them, Mark, being Sarah's ex, come to meet John and introduce themselves. The group of boys harass and bully a boy named Sam on their way, after leaving John. Elsewhere, the Mogadorians arrive at Henri and John's former place, and see the ruin left there by Number 6. The Mogadorians, realizing that Number 4 didn't die in that place, set out to look for him. Elsewhere at school, while in class, John's hands begin to glow uncontrollably, and he immediately rushes to the bathroom, where he passes out till Henri comes around to take him home. Henri lets John know that what is happening to him is called legacies and that he and the other 8 are the only ones who have such powers, as they have inherited their parents' abilities, who were part of the Lorien Guard. Henri lets John know that he needs to learn to control his newfound powers, and only then can he return to school. Later on, John sneaks out of the house through his room's window and goes to test his newfound abilities. Later that day, at night, John runs into Sarah, takes a walk with her, and winds up at her parents' house, where she invites him inside to have dinner with her family. His moment with Sarah is cut short when his dog named Bernie starts barking outside, leaving him no choice but to leave Sarah's house. Back at home, Henri is conducting his own dealings as well, as he is in search of something in the town they are in. John and Sam head towards the school's bathroom to wash up, and there Sam talks about his dad, whom John sees in a picture Sam retrieved from the locker. He lets John know that his dad is into things concerning UFOs and that they go to Mexico in search of evidence of ancient astronauts. Sam makes it known to John that his dad, despite calling himself an anthropologist, is really just a foreman at a steel mill in town, spending all his time preparing for an alien arrival. Elsewhere, Henri heads over to the steel mill where Sam's father worked before he disappeared. Not too long after getting inside, he finds a special kind of rock, which is a locator that can be used to find the other special kids, picks it up, and leaves the mill. On a particular night, John meets up with Sarah at a fair, and there they go into one of the hottest attractions at the place, where they get on a ride into a place called the Haunted Hayride Paradise. Before disappearing out of sight, Sam spots them. Not too long after John and Sarah alight, they get attacked by a group of boys. After getting separated from Sarah and taking a lot of beating from Mark's friends, John's hands start glowing bright blue. With this surge of power called legacies, John beats and tosses the boys aside and heads towards Sarah's direction to save her, after forcefully getting her location from one of the boys. Elsewhere in the woods, one of Mark's boys brings Sarah to him, and there he begins to question her. As Sarah turns to leave, Mark tugs at her, making her fall. At that moment, John arrives, moves towards Mark, and slams him to the floor. In a fit of rage, John is about to break Mark's arm when Sarah pleads on his behalf and tells him to stop. John quickly collects himself, steps away from him, and not too long after, he leaves the fair with Sarah and walks her home. Outside Sarah's house, they talk for a bit and reveal their affection for each other. John plants a kiss on Sarah's lips before leaving and heading home. On his way home, he gets a text from Sam letting him know that he saw what he did in the woods earlier, and that they need to talk. Sometime later that night, John arrives at Sam's house, and there he reveals the truth about who he is to Sam. The following morning, Mark's father, who is a sheriff, comes to pay Henri and John a visit and inquires about the events of the previous night, where some boys got hurt. John refuses to give any information to the sheriff, who then has no choice but to leave. On his way out, he spots a few cameras surrounding the house before going on his way. With recent happenings, Henri tells John to pack his things as they have to get on the road again. With John being tired of running, he refuses Henry's instructions, leading to get into a fight where he uses his powers against Henri. After a brief fight, Henri calms him down, and they talk about it, with Henri finding out that John has taken a liking to Sarah. Henri makes it known to John that unlike humans, their love from where they come from is forever. He tells him that if he believes Sarah is worth it, he should not let the Mogadorians win, as he would never forgive himself. Henri gets up and tells John that he will buy him a day to say goodbye to Sarah before they leave. Sometime later, John wakes up and heads downstairs to inform Henri that he is going to Sarah's, only to meet an empty house. Moments later, John receives a phone call, with the person on the other end telling him to come to an address if he wants to know how to find Henri. John wastes no time in calling Sam to ask for his help in getting there. Sam drives John to the location, and soon enough, they arrive there. Moments later, a man steps out of the building, and John tells Sam to tail him and give him feedback while he heads inside in search of Henri. A while later, John sees Henri tied up with chains and breaks them, after taking care of a man who tried to attack him. Henri lets John know that he shouldn't be there, as it is a setup by the Mogadorians. Moments later, the man who stepped outside earlier walks in, gun in hand, pointed at Sam. John uses his powers to knock the gun out of the man's hands and deal with him as well. Moments later, before the trio can leave the building, the Mogadorians show up, blasting a fiery gun at John, who takes a tumble, stunned at what has just happened. Henri attacks the Mogadorian and buys John and Sam enough time to flee to their vehicle. Soon, Henri joins them outside, and with the boys not finding the keys to the car, Henri tells John to use his powers to start the engines. Before John could do so, the Mogadorian Henri attacked, got up, leaped on their vehicle, and slammed his blade through the vehicle's front glass, stabbing Henri in the process. After getting away from the Mogadorian, Henri gives John the locator rock he found at the steel mill, and tells him that Sam's dad was using it to track the others to bring them together. Henri tells John to find the others, as they would be powerful together to face the Mogadorians, and not long after, he dies from his injuries. Moments later, the sheriff's son, Sam, lets John know that they need to leave where they are, as the cops think he and Henri are criminals or terrorists after raiding their house and seeing all the gadgets inside. Hearing this, the duo gets back on the road, and Sam reveals to John that he has a rock similar to the one he is holding. John tells Sam to drop him off at a place so that he can go speak with Sarah, and tells him to go home and get him the locator rock he has. When John gets to the rooftop of the building Sarah is at, he speaks with her for a moment, but before he can tell her what is happening, the cops arrive and interrupt them. John is about to jump off and disappear when Sarah slips off the rooftop. John is quick to react and stop her descent with his powers before then catching her and fleeing as the police are onto them. Sheriff James, who wants to chase after them, stops on the road when he sees the Mogadorians blocking it. The Mogadorians take Mark, who is with his father, and tell him to take them to where John is. Mark leads the Mogadorians to their school, where he believes Sarah and John fled to. The Mogs also gear up and go into the building. With Sarah and John knowing that the Mogs are close by, they begin to run, but are stopped in their tracks when the door right in front of them blows open. Number 6, who has been tracking John for a while, appears, wielding her weapon, and shoots beyond Sarah and John towards the Mogs that are behind them. After killing the Mogs, Number 6 introduces herself to John, and soon, they all head towards Sarah's suggested exit. Moments later, Sam arrives at the school with John's dog, and while still in the vehicle, Sam sees 2 monsters come out of the Mogadorian's truck and fly over them. While still in shock at this, John's dog, Bernie, transforms into one of the monsters that flew out of the Mogadorian's truck. Sam runs out of the vehicle upon seeing this and flees into the school, where he meets John, tosses him the rock, and tells him about what had just happened outside. Not too long after, they get attacked by the Mogs and one of their creatures. Number 6 takes on the Mogs while John lures the monster away from the group. With the monster giving John a bit of problem, his transformed dog runs in and grabs the monster from the truck and wrestles with it, giving John the chance to go back and assist Number 6 against the Mogs after defeating the 2 Mogs. Number 6 reveals to John that his dog is a chimera that came with him from their home planet Lorien to look after him. Elsewhere inside the school, John's dog continues to fight against the monster that was attacking John earlier, and after a while, it defeats the monster before transforming back into a dog and lying on the ground. John, Sam, Sarah, and Number 4 head out to the school's stadium, where they are stopped by the Mogadorian's commander, a monster, and 2 of his men. John quickly tells Sam to take Sarah back in the direction they came from while he and Sarah face off with the Mogs. Sarah skillfully kills 2 of the Mogs, and John is dealing with their commander when he gets distracted by the monster that has Number 6 in the air. John helps out and, by doing so, gives the Mogadorian's commander the chance to fight back. Just before the Mog can kill John, he uses the bright blue light in his hands to heat the special bullet rounds on the Mog's body, causing it to explode, killing the Mog commander in the process. Number 4, one of her legacies is fireproofing, which shields John from the resulting explosion. The following day, Number 6 and John fuse the 2 locator rocks, which begin to glow brightly before disintegrating. John and Number 6 absorb the knowledge of the whereabouts of others from the tracking device in the process. John says his goodbyes to Sarah and is about to leave with Number 6 and Sam, who is tagging along for the possibility of locating his father, who went missing, when John's dog leaps towards them, injured. Sam puts the dog in the vehicle, and soon after, they leave the town in search of the others. John's reluctance to flee the town ends up paying off as he, alongside Number 6, defeats the Mogadorians who have been hunting his kind. After gaining knowledge from the locator stone, will John and Number 6 be able to find the others, band together, and have nothing to fear from the hunters anymore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, guys. Peace out.